Just saw him out my window, and then I came in the backyard. There you go. So it's 11 a.m. here on Tuesday, October 19th. And yeah, the blue isn't as blue. It never is anymore. So now it's like this. It's always like this milky kind of white. And even how my camera is picking up here on the ground, like it's way more white and filmy. But last night, we have had some clear nights here and there, especially like later into the night, like past midnight, if I happen to be up that late. But these cirrus clouds, right? If you see Jim Lee on Climate Viewer on his YouTube channel or his websites, there's an additive. There's something they can do so that the cirrus clouds they form, these chem clouds, can dissipate overnight. But whether they do or not, that doesn't matter. There's many nights where you can't see the stars or anything at all, or it's very covered up. But in the last little bit, sometimes you can wait and see the stars on nights here and there. And then last night was very clear. But then there was a ton of unaccounted for, or a ton of plane activity. I shouldn't say unaccounted for. It was just a weird night. That's neither here nor there. Don't worry about that. But through mid-September to the end of September, the sprays started ramping up. And yeah, that was a month ago to today. So it was September 19th when I filmed and witnessed really 41 spray planes in a single day. That's a lot to witness in a single day. Actually, I filmed most of them, not all of them. I have a video up on YouTube with that, and I was with someone as well who would have witnessed, I don't know, they probably saw 8 with me within an hour. It was like, there's a 3, there's a 3, there's a 2. There were a lot that day that were just not only going in pairs, but you can see 3 at a time is a ton. Because yeah, I'm not even watching the full day, right? It's 41. Just in the hours I was out. So still about 4 hours or so. So 41 in 4 hours. That's a lot. But yeah, September of 2020, right after Labor Day, it was just thick and heavy sprays, and then it was almost like the gray nights right away. Gray days right away. And we actually had a couple of good weeks in September this year where the spraying wasn't too bad. It's always there. It's not like it's just goes away entirely. And in the middle of September it was getting worse toward the end. And then these first few weeks of October, so it's been about for 3 weeks, we've had like the gray days. Very much so for these past 3 weeks, and a lot in the last 2 weeks. Like it almost seems like there was no sunny days at all in that span. Or maybe there's one per week, something like that. And even just talking with people, you know, it's seasonal defectiveness disorder, or whatever they call that. Like you get that. It's just a like that's a normal response. It's not a weird response. And with these particular people, I wasn't bringing up chemtrails and things because I got to have the feel of the situation and eventually slipping that in there, and it depends on the circumstance. Actually, maybe I should. Why not? Just say, oh yeah, it's those chemtrails. Like, just say it quick like that. Yeah. There's just got to get the word out. But it was very, very bad these last few weeks, and when it's just completely covered like that, it does affect your mood, right? So not only are there physical changes to the environment, and what's this doing to the soil, insects, plants, other animals, our health, right? But there's also there's a mental, there's a psychological aspect, and there's a spiritual aspect. We're just seeing this desecration. But anyways, last night was a very clear night. And then this morning has been very clear. And again, I'm not outside watching, but I just happened to see when I walked by a window, I was like, oh, there's a guy. So of course it's right. Once we get a clear thing, they're gonna pump the sprays up again. And we'll see what kind of pattern they do. It's more this past summer, the pattern seemed to change. Like in December 2019, throughout all of 2020, and then early 2021, it was just more steady. You'd see a little bit every day. But then, yeah, in June 2021, there were the 2 days. There was the one day where I personally saw 28, and then 2 days later I saw 32. And then I've had another day above 20, then I had that day of 41. I've had some days in the high teens of spotting, so it's like there's these clusters of heavy sprays days, and then you can't see anything. And then it's clear for a day, and then heavy spray days, and then it's just gray for several days. Like it's more going in that pattern for a lot of parts of this year, of these last few months specifically. But there still are like there's always sprays, and then if they do nighttime sprays, like you can't see them, and then when the clouds get so thick, like you can't see them. And there's been days where every now and then I'm looking and it's like the blanket clouds, but maybe a little pocket opens up here or there, and then you can see a guy spraying. They say, oh, you're just guessing at that. No, because I've seen it, but there's only so much you can do, and at this point it doesn't really matter. Like you know what's happening. And let's see, I was standing here, I was like, man, I've been talking with this video is 7 minutes. It's not that long. I was like, but where's going to be a second guy? There's one. I don't know if I can see him. There was a second guy out that way. Let me go around to the front. Oh. So I did see a dude going down that way. I just didn't pick him up on film. See, so today, so now my recorder has been going. It's almost at 8 minutes now, and I've seen 3 guys. And they're not leaving the Spider-Man web shooter style, right? Whatever they're doing with their formulas. It's these trailing ones that or maybe stays behind the plane up to 100 yards. Then it dissipates. Come on, I want it to come into focus a little more. So I'm guessing today's going to be a very heavy sprayed day. I'm at 9 minutes now, but I've still seen 3 in 9 minutes. Oh, and that guy's probably, he was already far gone. He was coming from this front angle here. See, if I was over at the open field, I would see, it's an easier spot to see guys. Yeah, he's long gone, because he was almost behind that tree. I tried to go over and get him. Oh, so that big puffy, like you saw that dude who was right about there, he passed by. Now if I look in that distance, right, so I'm coming out 10 minutes, and I've already seen 4 in 10 minutes. See him? It's kind of coming in and out of focus. It's a little blurry, but that's as much as my zoom goes on this device. He's kind of far. I can still see him here easy on the ground. Like I say, if I was at the field, I'd see them more easy. But it doesn't matter. I film these guys so much already. I'm not. He's too hard to get. He should be in the center of where my camera is looking at right now. But yeah, see, he's here on the ground, but sometimes my thing doesn't pick them up if they're very far. And again, because the background of the sky is so milky white, when they're further like that, it's hard to pick them up. And I think that dude there is the right. So there was that guy, and that's that was number 3 by my count. That dude going away there. So there was 1, 2 going the other way, 3 down that way, or that was number 3. Because he was more overhead on that path. Okay, there he is. And then number 4 down that way. So yep, I'm at 12 minutes now. So the 4 guys in 12 minutes. Like I was saying, it's going to be a high. It's going to be a heavy spray day. So we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. I'm betting back to gray. All right, thanks. Oh, before he goes over the top of the house horizon, there he's just going past. Oh, he just went past. That's number 5. And I mean, he was very hard to see. If you freeze frame it, you can. But like, I just turn a little to my left here, and there's number 6. Now it's pretty much on some variation. Oh, let me get it better. Like the direction flight path these guys are on, they go back and forth on that. Huh? He was right there. You saw it. I was seeing him. My camera did pick him up. But even here on the ground, it's like he just vanished. He's got to be. I don't know if it's because of the background, or if the guy decides to turn off a spray and then you can't see him if they do that. Yeah, but I filmed it. I had him, and then he just vanished. So if I've ever talked about that before, I think I have filmed it here and there. There you go. There's an example of that. A little vanishing act. But now that's 6 in... when I came out, it was 11:20. We did it past 11:22. So it's 6 and 22 minutes. And so I'm looking behind me because there is a path, like they go. It's a slant in that direction. It's not necessarily always the same slant or the same path, but it's more or less kind of, it would be from Toronto to Hamilton is how they're headed. And like you saw, a guy was going over that way. There's ones that can go over that way. A lot of times when they're more on this end, that does tend to go the other way, so back from Hamilton to Toronto, like the return trip. But now all throughout the day, they'll actually just be going back and forth. But because this is the morning and it's earlier on, like the earlier in the day, the more likely you are to see them going in the way where, so what, I've seen 6, pretty much got them all on film. The only guy I couldn't, because when I turned around, he was already too far down going the other way. But so these 5 guys who are going in the direction I've filmed the majority of them, so from Toronto heading towards Hamilton, right? So 5 of the 6 I've seen have been going that way, right? So there's just a characteristic example of earlier in the day, you're more likely to see them going that way, which I've basically mostly been filming. But throughout the day, they can kind of just be going, I call it back and forth. Like you'll see them both ways, right? Like you can get a middle of a day rush where it's like, oh no, they're headed back towards Toronto, and they're coming back again towards Hamilton. I don't know how far they end up going. Really, I just say that's just towards those directions. Because if you go on the highway, you can see them going far. And that plane you can hear, as you can see, the chemtrail spray planes you can't hear. That was just a regular commercial jet, and you'll see their flight path. Right, people say, oh, it's from airports, from this or that. You put them into a flight path, then you can't see, oh, that guy's long gone. But the way they go, it's the opposite. So if I was going to make an X with regular commercial flights or jets and these spray planes, they go in opposite flight paths, these patterns. Almost all of the commercial flights, whether it's coming or going, are on that path of the X, whereas these guys, like I say, they're always on some kind of wedge of this length. And then commercial flights as well, they'll go on a straight thing in the other direction, like that, that way as well. And I guess chemtrail planes can maybe go along that, but it's more the direction where I filmed these 6 guys, where they're going to or coming from, depending on how you want to phrase that. But yeah, the earlier in the day, the more likely you are to see them heading in that direction. And then towards the end of the day, and then especially once you get to 5 p.m. and onwards, it'll much more likely then you'll see them going in the opposite. And that's if it's sunny enough and if it's not already way too cloudy by that period. But the way today is, we'll probably have somewhat of a clear day before their stuff. Look, so how long do they have to wait? There's another dude showing up, right? So probably 25. Yeah, so in 25, 26 minutes, I've seen 7 guys now. And they've all been visible, all doing while recording a voiceover. One of them I don't think I could really see on the camera, because by the time I went over to the other side, because he was the one guy going the opposite way, I don't think my device picked him up. But to some extent, all the other ones I filmed pretty well. Right, so it's along this path. That's the majority of the path, whether it's to or from, is some version of the path that this guy's on now. And then even a commercial flight, you only see one here and there. I wish I would have filmed that guy when you could hear him. He was going in that direction, because it's like the opposite arm if they make an X. But these guys going this way, they don't come up on a flight path app. At least when we've tried to pick them up. I think the odd time you can see something, but it's very weird. There's really no details. There's that dude. He's going fairly. Most of these guys have been going fairly slow. This dude's going fast here. So there's number 8. So 8 in 28 minutes. Yeah, if I just sat out here all the way till 5 p.m., I'm sure I could break my record of 41, but I don't really care to do that. I'll look out my window if I see them here or there, whatever. But they're all leaving the streaks, what I call the trailers. So there's the Spider-Man web shooters, where they leave the longer, lingering chemtrails. And contrails is not important to say. Contrails implies it's just water vapor, and it's not that. But these ones are the trailers, where they dissipate fairly quickly behind them. But they are geoengineering and cloud seeding. And they are doing their intentional aerosol sprays. Oh, look at this. So I'm at 29 minutes. There's 9 in 29 minutes. See, early in the day, the majority of them are going that way. 8 have been going in this direction here, kind of coming from Toronto area, but who knows? It's not that they take off from Toronto. I'm just saying it's from that direction, right? Where they start and stop, who knows? You'd have to track them down, and because again, they're not showing up on any flight tracker apps. So you actually have to follow them down, have a good a good camera, and see where these guys go. Right, but he's coming from the Toronto area, heading towards to the Hamilton area. So earlier in the day, you're more likely, here where I'm from, you're more likely to see them like that. And that was even the pattern when I first started seeing the heavy sprays in December 2019. I mean, I know they've been spraying longer. I know there's Toronto groups and all that stuff, but here in Burlington, I never noticed them. Even talking to friends who said, oh, maybe I saw something here or there. But all places worldwide, like just going into groups and seeing things, everyone has said that, yeah, in 2019 and especially 2020, especially when COVID hit, that's when the spraying like really hit an uptake. Like it just went up way more during that period. And of course, right, when you look at the ingredients of what's in these trails, you look at people who've done soil sampling or taken from an air sample, or people who have just gone through the literature to see what's in these geoengineering patents and what they're spraying, and then the makeup of the types of jet fuels that they switched over in the 90s. Jim Lee, again, he's got great information on that. See all this carbon black stuff in aluminum, and there's a ton of calcium, but calcium in food is good, but other types of like just hard calcium are bad. So they're spraying these nanoparticulates, and it's like, yeah, what do you think those aerosol sprays are going to do for say your airways in your lungs and upper respiratory issues? I will have to do a specific video still on when I was getting sick throughout December 2019 and very early 2020, like January 1, 2020. It wasn't from partying, it was from the chemtrail sprays. And that was 2 weeks, and for 10 days of that 2 weeks, it was really bad. Like the pressure in my head, it was so much. Because your body, all these, it's detox symptoms, right? The body only has a few tools. It's like how you clean your house. You have the same cleaning tools, right? So whether someone threw up or spilled something or did whatever mess, the tools you have to clean it, are more or less the same. They're more or less finite. There's still a few different ways. You might have a glass cleaner, a floor cleaner, this. Of course, then there's vinegar, baking soda, right? How you use these things is more or less the same. But so there could be 1,000 different ways to make a mess, but you still have the same tools to clean up things. Same thing with your body, right? It's trying to expel something, right? Create a fever, try to sweat things out, push things through the skin. Having mucus and phlegm, spitting that out, right? Diarrhea, that's another expulsion. Like, these are all, like, when you're poisoned, your body tries to expel things. Depending on the nature and severity of the poison, and then what your body is able to do is how it will make those choices. But these detox symptoms, just your body cleaning, more or less, right? There's also malnourishment, right? Trauma, those are reasons for illness. But one of the big three is the toxicity. Right, and trauma, toxicity, malnourishment, that can be both overly physical or mental and emotional, spiritual even, right? Spiritual malnourishment, spiritual poisoning, being around toxic people or toxic circumstances, or what's the other one? Or mental, emotional abuse, right? Trauma. Anyways, I'm not seeing any more, guys. I'm just came over here just to. Anyway, so what? I'm now at 34 minutes. My count's still at 9, but still 9 in about half an hour. That's that's a lot. Okay, thanks again. So remember how I was saying, there's number 10 for me, by the way, on today. Most of them go in that little X pattern, but some do go along that way, where this guy is going. There's an example of that. I saw him for a second. He's kind of stopped spraying. His sprays were like on and off, kind of sputtering. I saw him out the front window. And now he's past that tree. Whatever, I saw him for a second. But yeah, along that way, so I was saying most of them are on that one X-wing, that one little path. Oh. And yeah, see, I just came out because I saw number 10 going that other way, but then when I looked up and towards the opposite direction, so this guy would be going from Hamilton towards Toronto, and that's on that one X path I was talking about. Like, if regular commercial flights make up one little pathway, but you hardly see them. Right? Like, you might not even see any commercial regular flights in a day. You might see 2 or 3. These dudes, he's counting a ton of. So now that's 11 in about 45 minutes. And again, I haven't been outside the whole time. But now when I pass by a window, I'm kind of looking. Just because I've seen so many. Right, so 2 have been going in the direction this dude is going in, and the other 9 the other way. So typically earlier in the day, just for where I'm located, the more earlier you are in the day, the more likely you are to see them going in the other direction. In the middle of the day, you can kind of get them going back and forth. And then at the end of the day, the majority of them in that portion of the day would be going in the direction this guy's in. But all in all, I probably see most of them anyways on any given day going in the direction opposite to this guy. So I don't know if it's a simple going there and back, like the return flight covering the same area, or if they go back a different way, because I do see more of them going in that way. Like I say, most of them are somehow on like this fan of a flight path going in that way. most of them are on that track, which is separate from commercial flights, although commercial flights can also go like the way of the 407, as I was saying in a earlier video, that way. But these planes can do that too, although they wouldn't be as far over as the 407. Here you go. Here's the second guy on this flight path, but he's still going more or less in the direction towards Hamilton. Right, so the other flight path that I notice here, right, the one major one is that one little crosswise direction is what I call it. From Hamilton to Toronto, or Toronto to Hamilton. And then there's this way, this guy here. So there have been two of these guys I just saw now. The first one, who I only get a little bit of, and then he went past the tree and I couldn't pick him up. As you see, these guys on this flight path, the two of these guys, their trail is very faint, especially compared to all the other ones, right? Some of the other ones I filmed were huge. And also on this same little pathway, this line, right? Oop. There's another one. So I've seen 3 today on this pathway. Look at these guys. We're gonna get them in the same shot coming up here. Yeah. See those dudes? Their sprays are looking very faint compared to the ones on the other leg, or the other X, or the other pathway. Here they both go. The one guy's at the bottom, the other guy's at the top. So when I was saying there was the 2 main ones, the big one is that one part of the X, and this was the other one. So now I've seen 3 guys, most prominently these 2, crisscrossed each other as an example of the other pathway. But that's good, because in a short amount of time, with a few of these videos, which I'll stitch together for one bigger video, I've shown a lot of patterns I see here in Burlington. Yeah, but for whatever reason, these dudes on this pathway, their sprays look a little fainter. Now that's coming through more thicker and more prominent. See, it's not regular traffic. And it's all... Look how many of these guys I saw so quickly. That's... That's not normal. All they're doing is, what do they do? They're just spraying. What are they spraying? Why would they do that? Because people let them. I mean, we can speculate on all the other reasons. We can have their stated purpose of geoengineering, but since we know all that's BS. The global warming fraud. It's climate change. It's climate change. Like, you deny climate changes? Like seasons. Like there's 4 different seasons, or like it's cooler in the middle of the night and it's warmer in the middle of the day. Like that's climate change. Like that, you know, some days it rains, some days like that has nothing to do. So now they just capture anything under the sun. Whenever someone uses the term change, like especially politicians, we need change. We're running on change. Well, what changes? Like, are we getting better at something? Are we stopping something bad? Like, well, what change? What's a change? When they're just nondescript like that and they won't specify, that's how you can smell BS. Maybe a little BS detector. There you go. Now there's 13 spray planes and say, 50 minutes time now. I don't think it's still quite 12 yet. But I gotta get back to work. I got a bunch of programs and things to do on my computer to get going. That guy sees out of view now. But anyways, there you go. It's going to be a heavily sprayed day. Alright, thanks for tuning in. Bye. Oh, and of course, 2 seconds after my last video ended, just walking into the side door, saw 1, 2, so I'm at 15 guys. in under an hour. This is actually number 15, but the other dude is hidden in those trees. He'll come out. But see, on this path, so where these two guys are going to be now, this is the main, I was saying a little leg of an X, just because it's at, I consider it an angle, just where I'm situated from Toronto to Hamilton, if you see them going along the coast of Lake Ontario. All right, where's the other guy? Should have come out of the trees by now. So when I was walking back, I saw the first guy between the two trees. But when I got this out to film and hit it, I don't think it picked him up, because then there's a sun glare. Oh, there he is. So he was number 14. Yeah, so the majority of ones I see would be on this pathway. But again, too, it depends where I am in the city and where I'm working. That's why I would see more of those guys that way. But there are also, what I showed, the second leg, or the second main flight path that you see here in Burlington, is going straight along that other way. I wonder if I can do a shot here where I have both of them in the same shot. Yep, because the one guy a little more in the distance is towards the bottom of my screen on the right. And then there's that guy. As you can actually see, it's two in the same shot. But he was 14 and then he was 15. And you'll see these dudes going on this way, like their white streak is more prominent. Even though he's far away, you can see it pretty well. And then look at this dude, right? It just happened that maybe the couple on that other flight pathway. I'm not sure if they're a different formula or if the sky is more white that way or if there's some. But two of the three or all three were a little more faint than all these other dudes. That could just be a timing thing. I don't know if it's anything to do with that particular flight path and what their plans are today. As you can see, right, this is orchestrated, it's organized. But yeah, so I've in all these little put together videos, seeing these 15 guys in under an hour. That's shown the two main flight pathways, and it's pretty different from where commercial flights would be. Particularly this X, where the majority of them are. That other way, I guess that's somewhat close to, like you can see guys taking off and landing over the Pearson Airport runway. The guys who go on that, not the leg of the X as I call it, but I'd have to do a little picture of just to give a visual of what I mean when I talk about the X and the other way and things. And these guys are, I don't know where they are. These trees are in my way. But I just wanted to talk a bit. The guys going on that way. But typically the regular air flight stuff, they'd be further. Like those dudes were fairly close to me here. The other guys should be further away on that straight leg. And that's only some. Is that? Where is it? Can't see it now. Didn't look like a full plane. Just looked like a little white ball. go? It's high up there. I don't know where it is. So I don't know if I was only seeing part of a plane. There was like a little white ball going kind of along that X path, but away from me towards that direction. Towards Toronto or towards the lake, actually. I know, it's long gone. He was only there for a few seconds. But anyways, there you go. There's the main flight paths that I see around here. And yeah, it's going to be a day of heavy sprays, right? Finally have a clear day. It's been weeks of the gray skies in the blanket, the chem cloud blankets. Right, just a sheet of cloud from horizon to horizon everywhere. So of course a lot of rain, because that when they do those formations, it brings rain. I mean, you'll have some openings here and there, but for the most part, right, it's the gray days, and even this milky white sky. Right, I don't know if my camera, it does this auto adjust, try to make it look a little blue. I know I'm in the shade, so that's why it's maybe coming out dark, but yeah, it's just it's milk toast, milky white fuzz and haze and cover. Anyways, there you go. I'm at 15. We'll see. I mean, if I was outside all day, well, 15 in an hour, and it's only noon, so you'd think you could easily get to like the 60s. But I'm just not going to sit down and do that much spotting. At least I've got this number, and oh man, it doesn't take long. So here's the second major pathway. Oh man. 15, 16. Now that's the what I would say the majority of them on that flight path from Hamilton to Toronto or Toronto to Hamilton, whatever, that back and forth way. That's where the majority of them are on that. But then the second busiest one, at least from my perspective, from what I've seen, is this. Right where the road is, or where those telephone poles. The guy's going straight along that. There's another one. So that's the fourth guy I've seen on that pathway. Oh yeah, so two of those other guys who are kind of a more faint trail. This guy's more prominent, like the majority of the ones I always see, and especially today. He's going back and forth spraying. And the other dude who was going in that direction on this flight path, he's almost at the very same angle and very same spot. He's covering the exact same thing. So that's number 17. See, I'm already almost at 20, as I'm saying, this day. If I was just out filming all day, I bet I could spot 60. Thanks, but no thanks. Ugh. There you go, there's number 17. Come on, focus. All right, thanks. It's funny. I was just checking messages quick. And someone sent me a thing from Stony Creek, and but their picture was the Spider-Man web shooter style. And I just responded back, "Oh, thanks for thinking of me, and thanks for sending this." And I had seen earlier this morning and around noon, I should say, how the ones I had seen were the trailers that evaporate. I thought, oh, let me peek outside. And, oh, look at this! Like, there's another streak that way. There's that way. There's two. That is cutting it off. Right, there's that guy there. There's this fresh guy. He's just going by right now. There's all those ones there. And now look at the sky. Right, look at, even compared to before, it's always this milky white. But look at this stuff building up. See those effects? See all that wispiness? I don't know if how much this camera on my device is picking it up. And that guy, he just went by right now. And even my friend, he noticed it had gone by, or there was a streak that went by. The guy stopped spraying and then turned it back on again. Right, so look at, there's that. Okay, so there's that streak there, and then obviously that one there. That one there was a long continuation of one. You can see the effects up there. Alright, and this dude, he went by, I actually saw him. I didn't film his nose spraying. I don't know if I'm gonna see him still. Yeah, see, there's the thing. It's like he turned it off, and there he is there. So that same dude, I saw him spraying this. I did I just walked around my backyard for a bit. But that streak there, but he didn't necessarily turn it off. Well, he might have turned it off and then turned it back on. Sometimes they do that. Or it's like he turned it off, but then he switched the formula from the web shooter style to the, what I call the trailers. Oh, there he is, sorry. So there he goes. Right, so that's the trailer style. So it's not leaving the long strands like Spider-Man's web shooters. Now he's just going with those trailers. Anyways, he's number 18 today for what I've seen spraying. Oh, and what I was talking about, you see, so you see that's the majority of the way they go. Then there's a secondary way that's kind of parallel to these phone lines. That's the majority of the guys go that way. Ah, I just missed it. You can hear it. The chemtrail planes you can't hear. But these guys with the commercial jets you can hear. And he was going in that direction. He's like gone. They take off fast and then they're gone. You only see them for such a little bit, and they don't leave contrails. Even though the current jets, the stuff they do is more toxic. But on that band, the other guy was going across right the other way. So the commercial flights go the opposite, like a 90-degree angle compared to this. They go the opposite way. Too bad I missed filming him just to show. So it's like all these dudes are always going on that flight path. But the guy who just left this strand turned it off and then, or switched it, turned it off and then turned a different one on, or otherwise it's the same as switching it over to a different formula. So he went from the Spider-Man web shooter trail, which is there, and then you saw me filming him in the distance. That was what I call the trailers, because it just stays behind them for, I don't know what it is, 50 feet, 100 feet, because they're so high up there and far away, whatever it is. But now the other thing you can see is with this thing, right where it's more older, see it's starting to unravel and unwind, right, and fade. And even there more so it's unwinding and unraveling. But all of that it already is up. High up in the atmosphere there. But then all that stuff it's contributing to all this, right? The cloud seeding. And there's another thick trail, and you can see where it's starting to unravel. Anyways, yeah, so like I said, it was going to be a day of high sprint. Oh man, you see how much the clouds are forming. My camera is not doing justice to what your eye can see here on the ground of how much that chem clouds are filling in. And see all that, because remember before how I really couldn't film it, like it wasn't picking it up, but now it's all right. Like it just it's right. So it's all the chemicals and stuff they're spraying. It attracts the moisture to create these clouds and do the synthetic or the artificial cloud seeding. But just me being, you can older, so filming before, the camera could hardly pick it up, and now it's picking it up much more. So it's just, a short amount of time, like it's it's filling up. Oh, and look, I don't have to be out long. Well, I guess they go that way too, right? That would be if I had to pick the third most popular route is going that way. I'll have to draw out a map. But if there was a box, they go along one side, along the other wall, and then on a diagonal. That's how they do it. See, there you go, number 19. And that's what I'm calling a trailer, right? You got these kind here, right? The Spider-Man web shooter kind. And then you got the trailers, where it's just behind them a bit. And fades as they go. But it's still enough that you can see it. Doing nothing other than that spraying. That's it. That's the goal. There you go. So there's 19. And yeah, I was working all day and inside, mostly on the computer. And then when I just had to take a break and looked at a message quick, glad I did. Well, I got an update that someone sent me a message. And then once I saw that, I was like, oh, let me check outside. There you go. In a few minutes, I just saw 2 more guys. Anyways, thanks. There you go, I'm in the 20s again. So this year, what have I had? At least a handful, maybe half a dozen days of 20 or more. I've been in the 20s multiple times. I was in the 30s once and the 40s once. So I guess technically the 30s twice, 30 or more. Because if it's 41, then that's past 30, past 20. Yeah, I can still see this guy way in the background. So from my backyard, the dude who was going that way, I can see him here on the ground. My camera is, I don't know, it's the light's not picking it up. He should be right there. But that was number 19 by my count when I called him out. Yeah, I don't know if it's for whatever reason, maybe because I'm in the shade here of a tree. It's very dark. But then just before I went inside, I looked, and there's that guy. So that's just number 20 for me, witnessing. Again, I have only watched, an hour, 15 minutes or so, and now another 10 minutes, so not even an hour and a half of viewing time. And what did I tell you, right near the end of the day, more of them are going in this direction. So here's a guy going, almost on like that return flight, quotes, from Hamilton to Toronto. Oh, and look, and I just look this way, so there you go, 21. Blackjack. So again, he's going in that, what I call that return direction. Oh, come on and focus. Right, from Hamilton towards Toronto. So they're right? So of 4 guys I've seen, where previously it was like 90% or more of them were going away from me here, so away from Toronto towards Hamilton. Now out of the 4, 1 was going on that little bit of different route along the side there that way, like the same pathway as that. So that's really neither. That's kind of a little bit of a different route. 1 guy was going away, the guy who just left that cobweb trail there, and I filmed. But 2 of them, so either 2 of 3 or 2 of 4, depending on how you want to look at it, which is way more, right? So it's, what is it now? Something past 5 p.m. Close to 6 p.m. I'm not exactly sure. But see, I just go outside in a very short amount of period of time. Boom, look how many I saw. Right, 4 in a very short period of time. And again, this guy is we're leaving what I call a trailer. It's just staying behind that guy for a little bit. Yeah, that brings my count up to 21. Gives more good examples. And yeah, so at least me sharing these videos of things, people are skeptical. You can look and see, and this ain't normal. It's not innocent. Anyways, there you go. Tons of spraying today. Oh, there's a dude there. Oh no, he's the same one going that way. I think that was number... I saw 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4 going that way. So there's that dude who's still going that way. I'm not going to film him, he's too far. My eye can see him here, but I don't know if my camera is going to pick him up. No, it doesn't matter. I don't want to double count anybody. Yeah, that must have been one of the other ones. Just further down there now. Still 21. That's a lot. I think in all of 2020, I don't think I ever would have seen that many. I'm not sure. I never really did a day where I counted as much. But I think it used to be a special thing when I saw double digits in a single day. Oh, yeah, so this guy's 21. Look at that. What do they say, right? At the the end of the day, they're going in this direction from, there's 2 of them. So from Hamilton to Toronto, there's another 2. So I'm at 23. Right? So that's 4 to 5 or 4 to 6, you can say, are exactly going in that direction. I guess it's proper to say 4 to 6. Even though the other guy was a little bit of a different route, they still count. But so in a short amount of time, right, 4 to 6 guys in these last 15, 20 minutes have been going that direction. That's like that return direction. Okay, so you see them, right, as I was saying, when I stitch all these videos together at the end of the day, there they are going back that way. Okay, so if I zoom in on this dude, there you go. And if I zoom in more on that dude, there you go. But you can see the same shot had both of them in the, they're both in the same image again. That dude, he's going around the pole. It's hard to see. But there you go, that was 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That dude was number 21 for me, just further down there now. Right, but still, so 4 to 6, 2/3 of these guys in the evening, right, they're going in that return direction. So you get the majority of them, what I was saying earlier, later in the day, they're going from the Hamilton direction back towards the Toronto direction, and then how far past Hamilton they go, how far past Toronto, where they eventually land. Is it the same ones who go and come back? Is there a larger fleet? I don't exactly know. Right, how far down do they end up going in either of those directions? Who knows? dude. I'm not really picking up that dude anymore. Coming into focus. So you can see over there when I filmed him, just with the right sunlight hitting it there, I'm looking right at him, but he's not showing up on my screen here. Sometimes if I upload a video afterwards, I'll be talking and saying I can't see him, but it does show up. But likely if I don't see him on my screen here, he's not. It doesn't matter, because I filmed both of those other dudes, 22 and 23. Right, so if that guy was 22, there's 23, right? Just coming out on the other side. And then you can see the sky, right? Look how much that's already, look at what that's filling in, right? You're starting to get that sheet cloud effect, right? As far as you can see down there, right? You're getting that sheet cloud, especially more often in that direction and that direction. Right now, you see this big streak here. It was big, but now it's just unfurling and growing even more, right? So that's what this stuff does. Anyways, there you go. Got some good footage today. Great. All right, thanks.